Use another phone.
Well,
Try.
Is there any? Is there anything else going on?
Oh no, we're just doing yoga.
Anything else you guys?
I don't know. I've probably been called
Cool, yeah.
30,000 times, and it'll happen about 30,000 more times. So it doesn't bother me, honestly, because I know who I am, and anybody that knows me knows who I am, and anybody that knows Brian knows who he is. So I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. No, and you know, Brian is my brother, and I'm proud of that. He's a good dude, and I just, yeah, you know, everything's gonna be all right. This is just a weird time, you know.
Right.
This
Well,
whole
and hopefully
jail.
tolerance will prevail. Like, everybody needs to just chill out. Like, chill out. Just stop. Just relax, take a beat, and take a breath. Yeah, regroup. Like, everybody needs to go take a nap and, like, eat a snack. And, like, then we'll talk about it again. Or not talk about it again. We're going to break on, you know?
Yes, I understand. I completely agree. I think, I think hopefully he hears this. I think, hopefully he listens. You know, and, you know, we need all the support.
You have 1 minute remaining.
You know, and I appreciate it, anything he does to support us, but right now that what he's doing is not supporting us, it's hurting us. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, John, so much for calling in, and think about it, DJ Jerome.
I will think about it. December 20th, I'll think about it.
All right. We love you, Patriot.
Love you too. Bye.
Well, speaking of December 20th, we, that is what? Oh, okay. Let's do it.
It's all over my screen. It's all
Free Gen 6, free Gen 6, free Gen 6, free Gen 6, free. All right, well, I like to see them, so I think it's all about that. You know, on the 20th, we are going to be, John Mellis gets sentenced on the 20th, and, you know, he was in the first roundup of people, so it is going to be an ending and a beginning for him, depending on how all that goes. You know, judges, it is at their discretion, and so we will see. But also on the 20th, we are going to be having Festivus. And I did not coin that term, Festivus.
Seinfeld did that.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where it came from. Anyway, we are going to be having some amazing food out here on the 20th. And we are going to be having a Festivus. So we're going to be having like a Christmas-themed vigil. Festivus vigil. If whatever floats your boat for Christmas, come and do it. That's what we're doing that night. That's what Festivus is about. So if you light the menorah, or if you you know, whatever it is, we're going to be doing it on Festivus night. And you know, we're going to have a little bit of lightheartedness in all of this, because there are some really amazing things that are happening, and we have to have and grab the season right now to really believe in I am going to believe that in our judiciary. And it's really hard to, after everything that I've sat through and everything that I've seen. But, you know, there are some really important decisions coming up before people that we really hold our trust in, and that we pray that they see, you know, the law. And that is really all that we've been asking. And I just hope that it is... comes out fairly, because we do know the 1512C was never put out there for a protest. And there is actually an article. So at any rate, I'm not going to put the article out today. There is an article that was released in December of 2020 by some law groups that had to do with the obstruction charge. And interestingly enough, how it plays into how many people have been charged with that since. So I'm going to put a link to, or Deb, I'll send you that link. If you could put that up on the For Ashley site, I would appreciate it, because this article is written in December of 2020. And it is absolutely about how the obstruction 1512C2 charge can be used in a protest type situation. And it almost, in many cases that we've seen, we got a phone call, so I don't have to fill too much more time up, but I do want to say, Deb, I'll get you that link to that article, and I think it's really worth a read to see where we are now with this obstruction charge. Thank you, Nicole.
Hello.
What's up, ladies? Hello, hello. How's it going, Patriot?
How are you, Chris?
Dominic and Bob's here. No, the DNC, sorry.
DNC show.
It is the DNC show. Yeah, it's the DNC show straight from the gulag.
Nice.
Live
Happy
from the
Friday
gulag.
night.
Hey, guys, it's not just Friday, which it is, but it's also December 15th, which is not just 2 days before my birthday. There's actually Bill of Rights Day. So the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were actually ratified to protect our individual liberties in 1791. It's also exactly 365 days since I had to look at the United States of America versus Dominic Fox for the first time. So very weird and interesting timeline, but before we kind of get stuck in on it tonight, guys, I wanted to let everybody know again, Bill of Rights Day, December 15th, so 4th of July, Bill of Rights Day. Maybe light up some fireworks, or at least get ready for the fireworks that we've got to share tonight.
All right.
So usually we're doing a bunch of little topics. I was gonna say we actually spent several hours this week prepping for a normal and regular show, covering current events with jokes, stuff that are gonna make people laugh and have a good time. But the last couple of days have unfortunately necessitated a slightly different tone tonight. So yeah. On a better note, I did just write "fuck Antifa" in big bold letters on every pillar that we have on here. So you know, I know I hate to curse on here, but you know, F Antifa. Yeah, it is the Patriot Pod. So it sure feels a lot more like the Patriot Pod today. It does. Sure. Reshuffling, restructuring, and some riffraff and tomfoolery was removed.
Well, I'm glad you're able to do that.
Yeah. So I would like just really quick. I hate to do this, but 2 days ago I stepped away from a platform publicly on this. Something told me to do it publicly. And I'm glad that I followed my gut for once. I should have done it. I should have done it since, for about 2.5 years. And a lot of these things, that would be in such a pickle I am now as far as lawyers and everything else. But I followed my gut, and I stepped away from a platform. And I have to say that was one of the best decisions I've made, running the podcast and everything, or not running the podcast, but running just the line in here and everything else. All I can say is Dominic's Nana or Grandma said it best. Yeah. It is Nana. All right. You got a lot of things, but one of them, I'm sure many Nanas and Papas have said it. You got to take something with a grain of salt. What somebody's opinion of you or what they have to say about you has nothing to do with the truth or how you feel about yourself, and it shouldn't impact the outside of I'm not more than a grain of salt. I don't want to take Chris's thunder on this. There's been some stuff that's been going around that needs addressed. It sucks to have to do this, but
right.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing Dom, so the thing, everything that certain people have been saying about this pod is complete fabrication.
Y'all are all grown men, right?
There was no one.
And nobody leads you?
What's that?
Y'all are all grown men and you lead yourselves?
Yeah, listen. Okay, so this whole leadership thing, if anything, this comes from either people have been around the block in jail or people have been in this jail, you know, for 2-3 years, something like that. Any organization or household that you walk into has a structure of some variety. Some are overt, some are, you know, seemingly non-existent ones are chaotic. But as somebody that's relatively new to this pod, I can say that when I walked in here, I was not only greeted with open arms and a table full of food and every supply and item that I needed to be not only happy but ecstatic to be in the pod, but I was told there are very few bits of rules that'll make everybody's time easier. The primary one is don't steal, because we have everything we need in here. And don't go lie and spread rumors about people publicly, because it doesn't make you look bigger. At the end of the day, what it does is it hurts everybody. And you know, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but I can tell you some of the people that have been getting bad-mouthed publicly and hopefully not on very large platforms whatsoever were some of the very people that took me aside on the first day. And again, not only made me feel welcome, but literally had me calling my mom and saying, I can't believe it. This pod full of quote-unquote domestic terrorists and radical extremists are some of the best guys I've met in my life. And literally every single, I came in with no food, nothing, and I still to this day have some of the condiments, soups, and things that I was given. And nobody's told, I've been in jail. I've been to prisons around the country to get here. And what I've been given was a very minimal structure that respects hierarchy. Guys that have been here for multiple years and have wisdom and value to share, not because they want to be the leader of anything, but to help keep our house in order. And that's, nobody's told me what to say today or at any point. Nobody's told me who I can talk to or what I can do. But to deny.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Dominic, you missed a line. Right here. You missed this line, bro. Excuse me. Yeah, let me go back.
And the one thing people have to remember, we're in the Patriots box, not even or, you know, I don't know about not wholesome, but we're in here for the same reason. And there's no jail. Like, you know, if you
and we're going to prison soon, so you better get used to it.
Right, and if you put your hand on an oven, you're going to get burned. The oven's not nice or mean, it's an oven.
Yeah.
All I can say is Antifa was a little bit, we'll call it under the weather. He was under the weather and he came down looking for a fight. And he looked at one place and someone was smart enough to say, hey, this is a trap, back away. And then he got sucker punched. And he was looking for a fight, and he found one. And the only thing, how I can describe it was, there was, if you ever saw the old Undertaker, like when he's all covered in sweat, and then he slices himself with the razor blade up top, and he's just completely covered in blood, but sweaty blood. Yeah, that's what it was like.
This guy went out
very
of his way
graphic
to...
picture in my head that you just created.
Yeah, and that's what it was. The black hair. Oh, and don't worry, Tati. We got a lock of love for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got and lock, L-O-C-K, like up there. We wanted to picking that off the ground.
I was at USP
And Kate says, "What's up, big dog?" If Taki's listening. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, not to jump in again, but like everybody out there listening, I was at USP Atlanta, which was literally like gladiator school. Every day I saw people getting in. I'm not even going to call it fight. I mean, people were just getting beat down, people getting stabbed, all kinds of crazy stuff. 99.9% of my time in here I've been laughing, I've been learning new things, and I've been having the best time that you can have in a lockup situation. And it's because of the guys that are in here and the camaraderie that we have. So nobody out there should think that anybody walks around on eggshells or scared or like they're going to get beat up or bullied. Because, again, you don't get burned by an oven unless you put your hand on the burner. That's it.
And with that being said, so there was one altercation. I have to say the jail staff did a wonderful job handling it, and that's all I'm going to say about that. They got to I mean, everything was on camera,
Right.
so there's no lying about this. There's no this. There's no that. With that being said, I also heard that there was a jumping of an individual, a young individual, and he got jumped by 25 people, and that never happened. He was never beat up by two other individuals on a daily basis. I don't know what other lies I heard, but this guy. Okay, there was one slight altercation with him, where he basically pissed off every single person in the pod. He called every single person, every single patriot who took a plea deal a coward for taking a plea deal. He brought this up to a 90, and you know what? And then when someone walks out of a room and the remote is right next to him, and he tries to hide it underneath him, and like this is a big game. Oh, I don't have the remote. I don't have the remote. You know what? Listen, tempers are still flaring. You know, we're facing decades here, you know, of time. We've been away from our family for 2.5 years. You know, this is crazy. You don't do that to a grown man. You also don't do it to a grown man who works out every day, 2 hours a day, you know, and we're not, I mean, this guy's an animal. I said, and I just mean physically, just respect the man. Respect the man, he's going to respect you.
That's the biggest thing about being
That's
in
it.
here.
That's what it's all about. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. That's it.
You know.
I'll say this. I'm constantly walking laps, looking everywhere, keep my head on a swivel. I never saw this unnamed individual ever get touched, not even once. What I did see, and with the day that this person came back in the pod, he was very kindly and respectfully talked to and said, hey man, there's been these situations that have happened previously. Follow A, B, and C so we can all get to Z together. There'll be no problems for any of us. And unfortunately, literally, immediately, the entire vibe. So what's crazy to me is there's another new guy in here, Raphael Rangan. I think you guys may have talked to him already. Might be talking tonight.
Right.
And I told him, hey man, it's great in here. It's not going to be like anywhere else you've been. And literally for the last week that Raphael's been here, it's been, you know, this other individual.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, this is awesome. You know, everyone's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a, oh, well, we have these set of rules and you, this, how. No, it's just respect, man. And that's it. There's, like I said 2 days ago, we got people from the north, we got people from the south, we got people from the east, we got people from the west, and then we got people from Texas for their own thing, you know.
That's
and
right.
listen, that's not a slap. I'm not slapping anyone in the face here. I'm giving you a compliment.
I know, and I
You
appreciate
guys don't
that.
take it like that. So, no, but my whole point is there's a whole bunch of, there's so many personalities here. And it's just like, man, listen, no one's going to say, and if there is a fight, then there is a fight. Who cares?
That's y'all's
Get over it.
It shouldn't really,
It is
nobody
what it
out here
is.
should really even be discussing what happens in there. We don't know what's going on in there. Even if we're told certain things here or there from people that are in there, we're not getting the whole story, and we don't need to be involved in that stuff. That's y'all's business.
That's it. And it's like, just relax.
And the big thing that we want to express, I think, to everybody is, again, we don't have access to what's being said. We have to hear things through third-party sources, just like you guys out there hear things about what's going on in here.
Right.
But I want to express again that
You have 1 minute remaining.
this is the best experience I've ever had behind bars and behind a locked door, and it's a shame that other people seemingly made it their mission to disrupt that, because that's not what's going on. We appreciate all of our supporters.
Yeah, everybody. And Dwight and Lily Yen, thank you so much for coming to see me today, and everybody else. I said from the beginning, 2 days ago, I said everyone is treated with respect when they walk through this door. They're given with a whole lot of respect and a whole bag of commissary when they walk through this door. No one's different.
That's right.
It's up to you. It's up to you just to be a normal human being. If you're an animal, you know, if you're an animal and you can't behave like a normal human being, then you're not gonna last here, one way or the other. Happy Bill of Rights Day. Happy Bill of Rights Day. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody.
Good night, Patriots.
Thank you guys for being there. And fuck Antifa.
Fuck Antifa. So another thing that every new inmate gets handed when they come into the pod is a list of organizations that they can get in contact with to help their families, to get commissary, to get secure packs. We tell them to reach out to not stand in the gap, because that's really when they go home, but American Patriot Relief is one of the main ones that I always tell people, get in contact with Mark and Jaleese. They're amazing. They do so much for our community, and they have all the resources, and if anybody out there needs help in some way, you can call the J6 hotline. It's 833-SAVED-J6. And there's some amazing people that volunteer and man that line. So if you need resources yourself, you can go and talk to them, and they will help you with whatever you're needing at the time. It's an amazing organization, and other organizations that you can reach out to are Condemned USA. Trinus does a lot with the legal stuff. Stop Hate does a lot. Dave does probably more than anybody will ever know is what Dave Summerall does. So, you can reach out with him. Patriot Mail Project, you can look on their website to find out where these guys are, guys that are from your home state. You can write letters to them, donate to their commissaries, donate to their Gifts and Goes. There's a lot of ways to get involved, and to be a part of this movement. It's really not that hard. And I didn't know what I was doing when I first got here. I just was like, okay, I'm here. What am I doing? And I figured it out. I got a hold of a bunch of these great organizations that do everything that they can to support us, and I've just kept going since then. I shouldn't tell the truth, I guess.
Hello. Hey, it's my time. I'm going to use it how I want it. For the next 15 minutes, we're just going to scream F Antifa. No, I'm joking. Here's back to your regularly scheduled program. Here's Taylor.
Hey guys, it's Taylor Jonatakis again. How you doing? I have really appreciated being able to call in so often and have my voice be heard out there. It's been a little bit of a wild time here in the January 6th pod the last 24 hours or so, and it's really interesting to watch all the different dynamics that go on here. But one thing that I'm constantly thinking about is, where do we get our examples?
White supremacist losers across the
I hear you guys talking. What are you saying again? Say that a little more clearly.
That is mosquitoes across the street yelling at us. So just continue.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've always found is looking into the scriptures, and I know that a lot of people have different religious beliefs and things like that. But when I look at the life of Jesus Christ in the New Testament, one of the things I see is he's going through a court case. If you go read the Beatitudes, that very, where Christ kind of does the Sermon on the Mount, the first thing he talks about is going through trial. He says, agree with thine adversary quickly, lest he take you to the judge, who takes you to the officer, who puts you in jail until the debt is paid in full. And a lot of times what happens is we spend so much time disagreeing and fighting over inconsequential things that we lose sight of the real mission that we have here.
Right.
What's happening with January 6th is we have the largest case of entrapment the U.S. government has ever seen. And I'm not going to make a claim right now at this stage that the federal government trapped us. The left would say that Donald Trump entrapped us. But at the end of the day, when I was at the Capitol on January 6th, as I was leaving, I had the distinct impression that I had just walked into a bear trap. And that is what really happened, right? And so to think about the mission that we have here, the mission is to shine a light on this system. The mission that we have is to shine a light on some of the injustices that happen inside of the judicial system as well as the military or the prison industrial complex, right? And I think the January 6ers have done a lot of good. I mean, I know I'm grateful for the conditions we have here in the prison, in the jail. I keep calling it a prison. The year that we have in the jail because of the people who've been here and have made their voices heard. And I'm super appreciative to them and to you guys for doing this. But one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that as we continue to go forward, everybody's got their own individual causes and individual issues, but we're all brothers and sisters in this. We are all being treated in a way that ultimately is not, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Right? When I think about a crime is defined in a certain way when you deprive another person of their rights. Okay, so when you injure another person and you deprive them of their rights, and it can be pretty varied how you do that. But Nietzsche once said that a criminal, once exposed to the criminal justice system, can no longer see the error of his ways. And the reason he said that is because as you go through this process, you know, your rights are violated more than you ever violated someone else's rights. Does that make sense? And so we've got to kind of keep track of the fact that it's not just us, the January 6ers that are in here. It's everybody that is a victim of the prison industrial complex. I mean, this is a for-profit enterprise, and there's a reason why the United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world. There's a reason why the Department of Justice has a 98.2% conviction rate. It's because there are rights that are being violated, and I am a big believer that two wrongs don't make a right. Does that make sense? And so it's just, it really isn't okay when a criminal violates someone's rights. The punishment has to be proportional, right? I mean, this is guaranteed in our constitutional. And it is interesting because they've done a good job of not outright torturing us. I mean, this isn't a, Saudi Arabian prison. I don't even know if they torture people necessarily, but I assume they do. Or let's go Iranian, right? This isn't an Iranian prison. This is still the United States of America. But at the same time, the conditions here don't really make any sense. Like, I often wondered, is the punishment that I have to be away from my family, or is the punishment that my mattress is too thin and my back hurts? Is the punishment that I have to be away from my family and isolated society, or is the punishment to have a soy-based diet for the next couple of years, right? Like, what constitutes punishment in this system? And I think that that's a conversation that Americans need to start having, is what do we define as punishment, right? In my case, having me on home detention would have been a pretty significant punishment. But at this point, being in jail, and I've only been here a short time, this is like, holy cow. The officers that I was involved with on January 6th, all three of them said that I didn't hurt, harm, injure, or threaten them in any way. How is it possible that I'm here on assault charges and looking at 5 or 6 years in prison? That's just insanity that the people can stand for it. And so, you guys are doing such a great job raising awareness. I know that since I've been speaking with you guys on the Vigil, my family has been circulating these different Vigil streams and I don't know if you call them podcasts, and it's getting a wider audience. And I'm starting to get feedback from people going, wow, I didn't know that was happening, right? And so every voice that's heard raises awareness, and a rising tide raises all ships.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So, yeah, you guys have been really great. I can't sing your guys' praises enough to your dedication in doing this. And sometimes there's just nonsense, right? I mean, you get 1,300 people in a group of charges like this, and you're going to have very diverse people with very diverse beliefs and very diverse ways about going about doing things. And I think it's important that we all try to keep focused on what we're here to do. We're here to get justice. We're here to get justice for the people that lost their lives on January 6th, Ashley Babbitt and the others. We're here to get justice for those of us that are here having our rights stripped away. You know, we're defined in the dictionary as civilly dead right now. And, we need redemption is what we need. We need to be redeemed from this dark place. In the scriptures, a dark place was often the dungeon, and the word salvation means help in a dark place. We need some salvation. We need to be redeemed from this dungeon of a system where we're really, a lot of us, and I talk to everybody here, a lot of us feel in a certain way hopeless. The entire weight of the federal government has come down on us, not only individually, but collectively. And it will take the entire might of the American people to push back and say enough is enough. Not only has this system mistreated January 6ers, it's mistreated minority and disadvantaged communities for decades and decades now. And if it takes us going through this experience to be able to raise awareness and the little things like better diets, does the punishment really include a soy-based diet? You know what that does to a man's body after a year or two?
Exactly.
It wrecks us, Is that the punishment that the American people want? I don't think so. I don't think the American people see that. I think the American people know that prisons, the money for these prisons is not created by tax dollars. It's actually created by the prisoners themselves. When they're charged, there's a bond that's created that actually gets sold on the bond market. My bonds are being traded by Goldman Sachs and American Century Municipal Bond Fund. When you go purchase a municipal bond, you are literally paying the incarceration for somebody in many of those cases. So it's not like these are tax dollars that are being used. Right. These are literally bond dollars that are being created by the charges themselves, which, by the way, is why the government is incentivized to overcharge you. Right. Because by overcharging you, they overfund the accounts. And that's really, truly, actually what's happening. And so there's no reason why we couldn't have better food. There's no reason why we couldn't have adequate mattresses. There's no reason why every toilet in the jail shouldn't flush, right? These should be just givens, because the punishment is not to go to a jail cell with an unflushing toilet or to lay on a hard, flat cot. The punishment is being separated from society and having your liberty taken and your movement. Does that make sense? Right. And so, that we really have to, as Americans, continue to raise awareness and add our voices to those that are out there speaking, and not let the little petty things come between us. There's more than enough out there for us to be successful, and I think you guys know what I mean by the pettiness, because it sounds like you've already heard a couple people talking about it, but it really is petty. Yeah. There's more than enough support out there for everybody if we just look at this all as a whole thing and go, look, let's raise awareness. Let's support the people that are being punished. And more specifically, it's not the men in here that necessarily need the support. It's the families on the outside that really need the support. In my case, and I've mentioned this before, I've got 5 children still living at home, 17, 14, 11, 6, and 4. My wife has never worked. She's always been a homeschool mother. And now she's trying to put the pieces back together and trying to figure out how to continue on for who knows how long. So, we appreciate your guys' support. And a rising tide raises all the boats. The more that we talk and the more that we raise awareness, the more the system feels the pressure. Today I heard one of the guards coming in and talking to Scooter, and he said, I don't know if you're aware, but we have supporters on the outside. And he goes, no, I'm very aware that you guys have supporters on the outside. And I thought, what a great recognition, because most of the people in here outside of this pod, they do not have supporters on the outside. Right. I remember Judge Lambert in one of my hearings said that these cases are difficult for him because he's not used to sentencing people where they have rows of supporters that are breaking down in tears when the sentence is passed. Right? And that's because most of us are not really violent offenders. Most of us have lived good lives and don't really deserve what's happening. And I have a little bit of grace for these judges simply because they're trying to follow the law that the legislature gave them. Right, and it requires these massive prison sentences, and unfortunately, these judges don't exercise their equity in reducing them down to what is reasonable. Right. And a lot of that, it's a travesty, no matter what way you slice it. So, before we get to the 1 minute mark, I do want to share my wife's Give, Send, Go. We didn't do any fundraising prior to my incarceration when I was remanded just 2 days before Thanksgiving. But her Give, Send, Go is givesendgo.com/Johnatakis Family Help. That's JOHNATAKIS Family Help. And on that Give, Send, Go, even if you don't want to donate money to my wife, that's absolutely fine. There's a link to a podcast that I did just after January 6th where I go over my entire experience. And the Department of Justice refused to put that podcast into my trial. And I think if you go take a listen to it, I've had a couple people send me messages and things like that have listened to it. They said, wow, I cannot believe that the Department of Justice, tried you and wouldn't put that in the trial. And when you listen to it, you kind of see why. They were really out on a limb. And even Sedition Hunters, who I was the very first person that Sedition Hunters turned in, and they put on a Twitter post, they put #BeardedMirror, that's what they gave me a nickname, which is kind of ironic, because all I did in my trial was hold a mirror up to the system, right? So it just ended up, I didn't argue anything, I just held a mirror up to what they had, and what they had was very little. And they said, we were excited to bust a bunch of domestic terrorists. This man, referring to me, is not it. He's a hardworking person. He believes in God. He works hard every day. He's raising a family. He could be any one of our neighbors. And that's really the tragedy of J6 is normal Americans got caught in a bear trap that they didn't need to be in and didn't deserve to be in. And the people that should have been responsible for preventing that trap from being set may have been derelict in their duty. And I'm not making any claims or accusations, just kind of saying it as a generality. There were solutions that day that could have prevented every single one of us from having to go through this system. But at the end, I think it's good that we count our blessings and say, at least we can turn this bad thing into a good thing. And I have been a recipient of those that came before through the DC Gulag and the Northern Neck facility and the other facilities, in the fact that they've been cleaned up. The food isn't as rotten as it used to be. I heard it was much worse even before. So all of that adds up, and you guys doing that vigil night after night, you guys just make the biggest difference in the world. So thank you so much.
We love you, Patriot. We got your back, Jack.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. There's a lot of noise out there tonight. We got cop cars. Did you say there's a counter protest going on there?
We got haters.
You got haters out there?
Yeah,
you know what?
You have 1 minute remaining.
You know you're doing something right when the haters show up.
Yeah.
That means you're making a difference.
That's right. We have sirens for Trump, so.
That's awesome. Yep.
All right, Taylor, you have a good night, and we will hear you at the anthem.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Sherry, is there anything you have to add? I don't want to look for a minute. Yeah, just for a minute.
Not anyone here has ever said that every single J6er is innocent, because we know there were crimes committed that day. But the vast majority of these men and women that are behind these bars, that are on home detention, they did very little. And their sentences do not fit the crimes, exactly like the young man before me just said. So remember, when you sit down or kneel down to pray tonight, you keep these men and women in your prayers, because they need your prayers. They need your letters, they need your encouragement, and yes, they do need your financial help. Every one of these patriots, most of them have lost every single belonging they own. Their homes, their cars, everything. And a lot of them, money that has been raised for them has been taken away from them by these corrupt courts. So please, everyone, keep them in your prayers. They need our support. We stand out here because we are the voice for the voiceless. And that's what this regime down the road has done to these patriots. They have silenced their voices. They are trying to erase them from our society. And we're here to tell you that that's not going to happen. That's why we read their names every single night. That's why we will never forget this Air Force veteran. That's why we will never forget Roseanne Boylan and how she was brutally beaten beaten and killed. We will never forget the others who were beaten that day. The ones that were injured that day. There were a lot of injuries that have never come out. Rubber bullets that hit people in the faces because they were simply standing in the crowd. They need your prayers, Patriots. We're here in DC. Every one of you are hearing every word that comes out of their mouths. We need you to be a voice for the voiceless as well. Make sure you share out every one of these live streams. Share out the post. Don't ever let them be forgotten, Patriots.
Amen. All right, we're going to go ahead and do roll call. Lives lost on January 6th. Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips. The following day, Officer Brian Sicknick. Rest in peace. Those that are detained: Justin Adams, Michael Adams, Thomas Adams, Tommy Allen, Chris Alberts, Russell Alford, Noah Bacon, Edward Badalion, Daniel Ball, Thomas Ballard, Logan Barnhart, Richard Barnett, Pauline Bauer, Julio Bequero, Matthew Bedingfield, Luke Bender, Joe Biggs, Aiden Billiard, Craig Bingert, Joshua Black, Matthew Bledsoe, Kenneth Bonowitz, Dominic Box, Brandon Bradshaw, Larry Brock, Gabriel Brown, Jeffrey Brown, Jeremy Brown, Mark Brew, Daniel Caldwell, William Calhoun, Jared Cantrell, Cale Clayton, Stephen Capuccio, Matthew Caspel, Donald Chilcote, Shondell Chilcote, William Cressman, Reed Christensen, Josiah Colt, Mason Corson, Bruno Quay, Matthew De Silva, Nicholas DiCarlo, Nathan DeGrave, David Dempsey, Lucas Denny, Robert Dennis, Timothy Desjardins, Michael Dickinson, Charles Donahoe, Joshua Doolin, Israel Easterday, Michael Eckerman, Jolene Eicher, James Elliott, Daniel Egbert, Isaiah Farnsworth, Brandon Fellows, Kyle Fitzsimon, Kevin Galetto, Mitchell Gardner, Robert Gieswein, Vincent Gillespie, Frank Gustino, Vitaly Goshchenkowski, Jeffrey Grace, James Grant, Matthew Green, Tony Griffith, Brian Gunderson, Joseph Hackett, Stacy Hager, Timothy Hale, Kenneth Harrelson, Johnny Harris, Richard Harris, Joshua Haynes, Stephanie Hazleton, Donald Hazard, Albuquerque Head, Andrew Hernandez, Joshua Hernandez, Eric Herrera, Joshua Hughes, Jared Hughes, Brian Jackson, Shane Jenkins, Douglas Jensen, Justin Jersey, Joshua Johnson, Taylor Atakis, David Judd, Leo Kelly, Ryan Kelly, Julian Peter, Federico Klein, Matthew Crow, Nicholas Langerand, Daniel Layden, Joseph Layden, Luke Lentz, Joshua Lawler, Kevin Lyons, Danian McAndrew, Marcus Malley, Christian Manley, Cody Mattis, James Molt, Christopher Maurer, Mark Mazza, Ronald McAbee, Patrick McCoffey, James McGrew, David Ed Nahaffey, Sean McHugh, Jeffrey McKillop, James McNamara, Connie Meggs, Kelly Meggs, Jonathan Mellis, Rodney Millstreet, Matthew Ryan Miller, Jordan Meek, Robert Menuda, Landon Mitchell, Corin Montani, Catherine Morrison, David Marshall, Robert Morse, Christopher Moynihan, Jonathan Manapa, John Nassif, Marshall Neath, Daryl Neely, Ryan Nichols, Kirsten Niamella, Gregory Nix, Ethan Nordine, Nicholas Ox, Brady Owens, Jared Owens, Jason Owens, Joseph Padilla, Robert Palmer, Nathan Pelham, Michael Perkins, Dominic Pizzola, Daniel Phipps, Mark Ponder, Sean Price, Joshua Pruitt, Anthony Puma, Chris Quagland, Barry Ramey, Guy Reppett, Zach Rio, Mariana Reiner, Stuart Rhodes, Howard Richardson, George Riley, Thomas Robertson, Linwood Robinson, Michael Roach, Jonathan Rockhold, Daniel Rodriguez, Raphael London, Greg Rubenacker, Jeffrey Sable, Ryan Sampson, Ronald Sandlin, Salvador Sandoval, Robert Sanford, Peter Schwartz, Daniel Scott, Christian Secor, Hunter Seafried, Kevin Seafried, Grayson Sherrill, Jonathan Schroyer, we'll take that one off there. Alexander Shepard, Thomas Sibick, Jeffrey Sills, Mikhail Sly, Cheryl Smith, Tommy Smith, Kelly Sorrell, Audrey Southern, Hatchet Speed, Yvonne St. Simon, Peter Steiger, Shelley Stallings, Patrick Stedman, Laura Steele, Tristan Stevens, John Strand, Andrew Taki, Enrique Tario, Curtis Tate, George Tenney, Jacob Perez, Isaac Thomas, Devlin Thompson, Dustin Thompson, Edward Valero, Salvador Basallo, Jason Wallace, Eric Scott Warner, Jessica Watkins, William Watson, Matthew Webler, Thomas Webster, Bradley Weeks, Sandra Wire, Jack Witten, Anthony Williams, Riley Williams, Timothy Williams, Duke Wilson, Ricky Wilden, Shane Woods, Chris Royale, John Wright, Gregory Yetman, Isaac Yoder, and Kyle Young. Those we've lost to suicides: Christopher Georgia, Matthew Perna, Mark Engst, and George Meacham. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Now let's say her name. Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt.
Yes, Sirens for Trump. That's so cute. Sirens for freedom? Okay. Sirens for freedom. Sirens for Trump. Whatever. Sirens for J6ers. Right? We're just so thankful for that. Sirens for J6ers. That siren is specifically for my J6ers. Thanks, guys. We feel loved. You know, so many people have been talking about us lately that we just feel so important and loved. We feel so loved. They must be talking about you because you're doing something right. I mean, they're doing something right, or I don't know. Whatever. You don't like me, that's not my problem. Sounds like your problem. Sirens for freedom. Sirens for J6ers.
They wouldn't be here if we weren't that important. Yes. See, she's definitely watching.
Well, I mean, I guess if they're watching us, is this a good time to plug forashley.com?
Yes.
If you'd like to make a donation to keep us at the Eagles Nest here in DC, go to forashley.com and hit that donate button today.
You know, every single night we have streamers out here, and they do this so that every single patriot around the world can know what's going on. It's very important that all of these streamers get supported, because if they don't get your support for this information, it's going to go away. Rebecca, what's your stream, Rebecca? We the People Mega. For Ashley. 1791 Stormtrooper.
Amen.
Freedom Express Media. Almost every one of these streamers are here on their own dime. They go through extreme conditions to make sure that they are here every single night. Glory be Freedom. She's another one. We have to make sure and support these live streamers so that they can stay here in DC and bring you the truth of what's coming out. So please, if you're so inclined, help out our streamers.
Yes.
They need our support. Thank you, Patriots.
They make big noise in here.
I'm a coffee. Storm likes coffee. Storm's a happy camper as long as we bring the coffee. Everything else he can deal with. You know, we have Patriot Mail Project has been doing their Christmas drive for the kids. They just had their 12 Days of Christmas auction, and they had so many awesome items that they auctioned, and they've raised so much money for these kids. And, you know, a huge shout out to Marie and Paula and everybody involved in that organization. They do so much good work, and, you know, we really appreciate that y'all do that for the kids. So thank you so much. Who did? Oh, because she loves you so much. I mean, they can't stop talking about us, so they must love us.
Your boyfriend has a patriots. We need you now. That's disgusting. Nazi scumbag.
We haven't really been able to chat, but you know.
We've been busy tonight, David.
Yes, we have. Been busy today.
It's busier without music. Isn't that crazy? So there we have it.
Visiting people.
Oh yeah, we had some great visits today. I know I had a great visit with my husband, so that was amazing. Yay. And Jen had a great visit. Well, she had two great visits. And, you know, anytime that you guys have the opportunity, I know Allison from Katie's going to be coming in a couple weeks to have a visit, and I'm excited for her to get to do that. You know, and anytime I get the chance to come in and see these guys, it's amazing what it does for them and their mentality. You know, it really, it gives them a lot of positivity, and it helps a lot. As well as letters, which brings me to Zach Reel and Jonathan Menifo and Stuart Rose. I have specifically asked for letters. They would love letters. Mason Corson says he would love letters as well, and he can use some commissary. So if anybody is so willing, please, you know, throw a couple dollars for Mason Corson.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
Your Nazi boyfriend has got to rot in prison. His sentence has got
I've been out now for 2 weeks, and I've been home for about a week and a half.
Eric, hey, Patrick.
Hey there.
So how's it feel to be free?
It feels like God had intended it, okay? That's how it feels.
Right.
That's right.
And, but I wanted to hopefully get a message out there to the J6ers, because I've been experiencing, what it's like outside in the real world, and there's a lot of support for us out there. And remember, I live in Woodstock, Los Angeles, and I called my old boss, and then nothing but support for me. And talked to a few recruiters, nothing but support for J6ers. Even when I was flying from DC back to Los Angeles, I was talking to the flight attendant, nothing but support. So things are changing. I can see it when since I got out. Yeah, and again, remember, I'm in Woodstock, Los Angeles, right? And I'm seeing it. Like they know what happened.
Yeah, the whole world.
Yeah.
That's why we have protesters out here, because they know too.
They know it
but they
too.
have to cover it up.
They know it too.
We got another call coming. Any last thing you want to say real quick?
That was the main part of it.
All right, man. We're glad to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. We really appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Love you, Patrick.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello, I have me and I have Brian, aka Scooter here.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you guys this evening?
You're fantastic.
Hey, is that Signs for Jesus?
We've got Sirens for Jesus, Sirens for J6ers tonight. So, yeah. You know, I don't think they have any gifts for us. I think that's really great.
Well, all right, let's get right into it. We've got a couple minutes before the anthem. I'm going to save some of this stuff that I want to talk about until after the anthem. So we'll just talk about some current events first. Have you guys heard the Laura Logan interview with Clay Higgins today?
Yes, that was amazing.
Okay, we have not heard that much about it. What can you tell us about it?
Sherry's coming to tell you all about it.
Well, Clay Higgins says he has definitely identified one of the buses. He is 100% positive that it was filled with paid FBI agents. And he definitely will find out exactly who owned the bus, when it was sold, and who was driving it at the time.
All right. the earpiece. I'm going to leave you here with Brian, a.k.a. Scooter.
Hey, baby.
Okay, cool. Thanks for throwing me under the bus immediately. I can't even come on here with that sneaky stuff now. He's like, and we're introducing my government official. That's right, it's David Dempsey. You know, like, oh, cool. Thanks for that intro. Jeez, I just want to start my birthday down there.
I know, right?
Wow, you really just brought me for the fucking... Hello? He's got like that stuff tonight. All right, you ready? Here we go. All right, so 12-13. All true. 12 chart. Next, 12-13. Big claim, fraudulently claimed 15-12 charge in his case.
Let me tell him, Nicole. Let me tell him what you said, Nicole. Hey!
Right, it's a official thing.
Brian, over here, to my right.
It's too stupid, God.
Right.
Ladies. So scary.
We can hardly hear you, Jeff. I'm sorry. Can you get closer?
Yeah, they should go to hospital.
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you much better now.
All right. You want me to start again?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. All right, ready. On 12-13, Scooter decides to hear the 15-12 charge, which is the obstruction of Congress charge. Number 2, on 12-13, Jake fraudulently claims that the 15-12 charge that SCOTUS is hearing is his case, which is an absolute 100% lie. It's actually Mr. Fisher's 1512 case that SCOTUS is taking up. Number 3, on 12/13, Brian, a.k.a. Scooter, confronts Isaac about broadcasting the anthem that makes its way to one of Jake's social platforms. Number 4, Isaac then lies and says that Brian and Andrew beat him, which is 100% not true, because if Brian and Andrew did, then they wouldn't be in the pot anymore, but they are. Then, somebody named The General, who, by the way, has never been in the military, and I think he's an armchair quarterback sitting in his mother's basement, and right up from Corpus Christi, Texas. He gets involved and tells Brian to lay off Isaac, or, quote, hell will rain down on all of us. Let me say that again. Hell will rain down on all of us. Then, number 6, Isaac is confronted again about broadcasting the anthem to Jake the Liar's platform. Number 7, Isaac then somehow claims that he got beat up at 6:50 p.m. last night. However, David Valentine saw him today at visitation, and he was 100% fine. And he also claims that he was beat up while he was talking to a lawyer. So again, absolute 100% bullshit. Then, number 8, last night, December 14th, out of the blue, Zach Alam, a known Antifa member in here with us, comes out of his cell and for no reason at all confronts Brian and starts to pick a fight for no reason at all. Extremely uncharacteristic of Zach because he doesn't ever come out of his room. Then a number of us J6ers get between them and tell Brian this is obviously a setup, do not take the bait. Number 9, when Brian doesn't take the bait, Zach then throws a punch at Andrew. Andrew then took care of business, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's break this down, see exactly what's going on here, okay? Number 1, Isaac is a troublemaker. He's basically a shit starter. He's a pro at playing the God-fearing victim. He's an absolute 100% liar. He's been caught in his lies, just like Jake has been caught in his lies.
That's right.
And both of them use God as their way to endear the public to him. I myself believe Jesus, 100%. I am not lying to you at all. Then, both of them are basically charlatans. They're fakes, they're frauds, and they're liars. They both play the victim, and they both play it well. Next, for the record, Brian is not radicalizing the pod towards any other agenda. He's not. We are all grown men in here. We all do exactly what we want to do, and we all rule our own lives, 100%. Let me keep going. Then, you have this person named The General. I don't know who he is, and I don't care who he is. I find it extremely coincidental that as soon as this guy threatens Brian with, quote, hell will rain down on us, that within a day, within hours, all of a sudden, an Antifa, quote-unquote, soldier is then activated, who then, out of the blue, somehow tries to pick a fight with Brian for no reason at all. I know it. I saw the whole thing. So help me God, I did. Now, let's simplify this for those of you paying attention and those of you that aren't paying attention. Someone threatened Brian that pain was coming, and he didn't stop pressuring Isaac. Let's do it again. Someone threatened Brian that pain would be coming if he didn't stop pressuring Isaac. Then, pain came within 24 hours to Brian in the form of an Antifa member attack. Put 2 and 2 together. What do you think happened? Why do you think we've got counter-protesters out there on the night that I'm bringing this up? I'll tell you right now, because the General is a fraud, 100% fake fraud. He is controlled opposition. He's full of shit. He's in his mother's basement. He may do some good things, but do not trust him at all. I am officially demoting him from General to Private last class. End of story, end of story, end of story. Period.
That is a major demote.
Are you being bullied right now?
Are you being bullied into saying that, Jeff? If you need help, say banana.
The safe word is banana, Jeff. Say that word, banana. The safe word is banana. You're being bullied, say banana.
All right. Alright, so then apparently today you've got the General saying that Isaac was beat up and he's asking for people to call the jail to get Brian removed.
Right.
Now, why? What's the reason for all of that?
I don't know.
What's the reason? Tell me, what's the reason? And why would there be 24 hours from the time that all of a sudden Kane was promised that now we had an Antifa member activated and sent down here, out of the blue, confronting Brian for no reason, unprovoked whatsoever? Why? Because they're all in bed with each other. You've got Jake the orchestrator, Isaac the shit starter, you got General the handler.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And you have Zach the soldier. I never get into this personal stuff. This disgusts me because it detracts from who we are and what we're here for, which is freedom, which is the America we all love.
Exactly.
So forgive me for dipping into this black pool of disgust, but the truth had to be told. Right? I just want to say, we only got a few seconds left. Hey, Eric Brayden from Corpus Christi, Texas. Who's big swinging now? God bless you all. Move around, welcome here.
God bless you guys. We love you. Love you, Brian. Oh, we can't do the song. Okay, good night. Good night.
Good night. So, I don't know if y'all can tell, sometimes I get a little nervous. Because I don't know what he's going to say. And I don't always agree with everything he says, but that's okay. Even if I don't agree with him, he's my husband and I'm absolutely going to support him. So, anyways, last song is God Bless You, God Bless America. Kid, thank you. We love you. I'm going to pray for you. We can end with a prayer. Yes, let's do it. Texas! Go Cowboys!
Super Bowl bound.
Because of the men inside.
Let's pray today. Let's get together and get some Jesus for the rest of the evening.
Nazi coming! Come on in.
Dear Lord, we come to you again. This night we pray that you see us all home safe. Lord, we pray for our J6ers. You know the truth, Lord, and the truth will prevail. God, we need you in our country. We need you now. You have blessed us this far, dear Lord. Please continue. In your precious Son's name, amen.
American trash.
God bless
night, Katie.
All right, Miss Katie.
No. You better ask someone quickly. Go ahead. I couldn't. My husband doesn't want me to do that. Go ahead to ask someone. My old son got the COVID positive, so I don't want to cause other people's trouble. The young guy wants me give him a right. Yeah, I let him to ask for him. Okay. I feel so sorry for him. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.